Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very funny, very talented actress, comedian, now burgeoning producer, writer, will be a huge producer. Have you ever directed?
Oh, yeah.
Director.
I'm so glad you did your research. Have you directed?
2
features.
2 features.
1 short. 2 commercials.
2 commercials.
1 web series.
1 web series. Put that closer to your mouth. I know.
1 pilot. 1 pilot.
The pilot says she shot, not did. And she's really responsible, I could argue, for...
Normally, I'm a little fakaked.
For creating me. She really kind of made me. If it wasn't for her, I might not have gotten in the business. And she was my first love. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenica Bergere. You didn't
Bergere like the Follies.
Bergere. Did you expect that?
I didn't expect that. That was very sweet. You've
It's
gotten
true.
more introspective in your age.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
How was I before?
Holy Mother of God.
I want the third eye. I want the third eye.
Well, I'll just tell you, I called my agent, Bill Valoric, and I said...
Bill Valoric. Hold on, I'm triple checking. Bill Valoric, the same guy you've had...
We're going to do this whole podcast and no one's recording.
Bill Valoric, that's a name from a name.
Yeah.
No, because I know how good it's going to be, so I'm going to triple check it, and it's all good.
I said, I am on my way to do a podcast with Jamie Kennedy. And he said, refresh my memory.
Ew.
No, he knows who you are. How do you know each other? And I said, he was my first love. And he goes, oh, the guy that had pictures of everybody on the wall, like a master vision board.
That's a compliment.
Such a compliment. You were doing the vision board before the fucking secret. You were visioning, only visioning. You know what you didn't put in the equation? Anybody else. So the wall of Jamie is continued.
Still,
Heimlich?
I literally went down the wrong hole.
Okay, come here.
I'm good. Wait, I did. You're so right.
When Jamie, you and I met, do you recall when we met?
How we met? I don't know how we met.
I'm out.
I know. Wait.
I'm out.
I want to say how we met. You ready?
Yeah.
Comedy club.
I mean, that's like just an idiot's guess.
No, hold on.
I will refresh your memory.
And I'm not an asshole. It's like 5G towers. I'm in my 50s. There's a lot going on.
Got it. I hear that. I mean, I've only given birth 3 times.
Yeah. You fucking thought your 12 o'clock was 12:42. So
I know.
You have
I
your
have
own
no
problems.
right. I have my own problems. You're enough.
I was standing on the
I
street
got
with a
it.
guy hollering at a wall waiting for her. She's like, this neighborhood got so much better. So wait.
It looks like death row.
Bill Valoric. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
So I am flown to. I perform at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Pam Thomas sees me.
Yeah.
She doesn't want me to audition for SNL. I'm represented by Sandy Warnock
Wow.
and Russell Simmons.
Yep.
And I'm a hot comedian with no comedy. I was not funny at all.
Hot comic and a hot comic.
Right?
She was a hot up-and-coming comic and a hot little piece of...
Ass.
Yeah, can you say
That's
that?
a hot piece of ass.
She was a hot little piece of... And that's when Drew, like, you were like the comedic Drew. Everyone was like, this is Drew Barrymore, but funny.
Yes.
And you were flopping around.
I'll
and
take
you were,
that.
Yeah, early 90s grunge, no bra. Is that legal?
Except I have really... That wasn't fortunate for anybody.
Well, I think the audience was happy about it.
Sure.
Way before all these fucking comedy thoughts got in, you were an actual comedy who just happened to look like a thought. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I get flown to New York City.
This is fucking right.
Manhattan. And the cool thing was the night before, Russell Simmons is my manager at the time. We meet. A limo picks me up. First of all, let me just say I was flown to New York City to audition for SNL.
And you were how old?
19.
Yes, I remember. They were like, "This is Eddie Murphy with breastises."
I don't think they had that much faith in me, but yes. So, and she's not black. But she's kind of black. She's black adjacent.
Yeah, you're definitely black adjacent.
I was definitely black adjacent. I mean, I still feel black adjacent.
Yeah. You've never worn a sweatsuit you didn't like.
Well said. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm really hurt that I'm now using to guard my memory because it's amazing. Okay, I remember. Go ahead.
So the cool thing was that day I get in the limo, go straight to the Time Cafe to meet Russell Simmons and Kimora. And we're having lunch. Chris Rock walks by and he goes, Chris, come sit down.
He
sit
has
down.
that? I don't remember him talking like that.
Chris?
Okay. Yeah.
Russell? Russell got a list.
Oh, Russell does. Okay, not Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said, sit down. She's up for SNL. There's a crazy white bitch from Thurman Oaks, California. She's not a Jap, though. She cool.
Oh, my God.
And she up for SNL, and what she got to do? And he goes, well, I can't do a Chris Rock. Let me see you do a Chris Rock. You're so good.
I have to think, wait. You got to go somehow. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Let me get sick.
Well, if she's in this position, then I sound like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Then it's really about the prettiest girl wins. So Russell gets me in a limo, sends me back to the Paramount Hotel. I enter my hotel. He sends over a stylist, hair, makeup. I never worn a dress, like ever. Like not even at prom. At prom, I wore like a cool suit with a tie. Like I was that chick.
Yeah.
Right? This side of Courtney Love, but loved hip hop.
Yeah, you were. That's a beautiful description. And early '90s, you were pre-grunge before Sarah Silverman. I mean, low key. Yeah.
Low key don't want to flex, but
yeah.
So, they made me all beautiful, and that night he got me sets at all these clubs, and you couldn't get stage time, but you were flown based on your talent. Because Pam Thomas had seen you as well and kind of took you in her wing and then was kind of like your mom and it was weird. But that's another story. Because you have a mom, Josie.
She does. God rest her soul. You know, she passed, but God
Yes.
rest her soul. But you know, Pam, yeah. So you're saying I was low-key trafficked to Malibu,
Yes.
to the Palisades.
I mean, Drake Bell, Jamie Kennedy.
Yes. I love Pam. If you're listening, she loved wine in a box. Franzia. That was her go-to. Go ahead.
So I remember that night they were driving me around. I had like a dude with an umbrella, like I was P. Diddy.
Yeah, you had Mr. Farnsworth.
Yes.
Farnsworth Bentley.
Yes.
Not
And
a great thing to say now.
They would take me into the clubs. I'd perform. I'd bomb at every single club.
Take a shit on every stage.
Every single stage. Comedy Cellar, Stand Up New York. I went everywhere and I was like, did this Dennis Leary impression. And that was like, I think they just laughed and clapped to get me off the stage and to tell me to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And I later found out that night you couldn't get stage time anywhere.
Anywhere.
And you were like on the streets of New York with your little corduroy, like buttons falling off, worried about your hair, always worried about your hair.
Still am.
Yeah, still. Maybe didn't bathe.
Probably did. Still don't.
Smelled a little bit like this room.
Still do.
And the next night, you, me, Molly Shannon, McNally Segal, and another girl who I'll never know her name, went up and performed 5 minutes in front of David Spade.
Yeah.
Farley.
Yeah.
Dennis Miller.
Yeah.
Lorne.
With Lauren there.
Oh, yeah. He was right in the middle. Right in the fucking middle.
What club was it?
Stand Up New York.
You got such a memory. And then
I
forgot that Spade was there.
Yeah, Spade and Farley.
Okay, I'll give you my comments, so keep going.
Walked out. Your manager, or somebody who wanted to be your manager, said, I wasn't funny, but I was very pretty.
To you?
Yeah.
After the SNL?
Yeah.
After you diarrheaed on every stage?
On every stage.
Oh my God, what motherfucker was that?
So not only did I have diarrhea and shit and probably some trailing hemorrhoids, he just exploded my asshole further. That's a bad analogy, but...
Aggressive.
It's...
So hold on a second. So what happened? You felt that you went up, you did your set, and you felt, I remember because you lived in your head. Well, I mean, listen, I have my own issues.
I mean,
but
is there room for anybody in yours? I'm just wondering.
I know. Well, you saw this is outside my head, so can you imagine?
This just amplifies your brain.
So wait, so you go in.
So I come out, and you're out there with your little Converse and your corduroy nasty jacket.
My ponytail.
You bombed.
I bombed? I thought I had a pretty good set.
No, you bombed. Totally. Josie, how you rap all the B-I-C-Y?
Did I bomb because I wasn't good, or did I bomb?
No, you were great. And so was I.
Then why did we bomb? Audience sucked?
Because we weren't really stand-ups at the time. We were just funny actors. You know, that were utilizing
You watched me and you have the audacity to say I bombed.
You bombed.
God, I guess I blocked that out.
But the way I see it is that you all bombed together.
Did you bomb? Who bombed worse, me or you?
Me.
Okay, good. So
you win.
So wait, how did Molly do?
Molly was committed.
Okay.
So she bombed too, but she was committed.
And how did McNally do?
She killed. And she had a wig, and the wig came off, and then there was a wig under that, and the wig came off of that, and there was another wig, and she was seasoned. She was fantastic. We all thought she was going to get it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, no one got it.
No one got it. Molly, Shannon, and I drove back in the limo. They picked us up the next day.
Can I tell you something? And God rest his soul, when I came off, Chris Farley said, that was great, man.
Down by the river.
That was great. He patted me on the back. So was that just him being nice?
So are you going to spend the rest of the day today saying I didn't bomb? Jenica said I bombed, but I didn't bomb.
I think I got a couple. I did my Jim Morrison impression.
You went over like...
Today, we're going to read a little poem. Come on. I did Jim Morrison as a kindergarten teacher.
I think people thought you had something, but it didn't resonate with the crowd.
Because they're all New York assholes.
Right.
And
I wanted to talk about politics.
Yeah, and you and I were this LA light, and it was like we were raw wood. But it was like you could chip us. Like, throw us in the room, you at 19, me at 23, throw us in the...
man.
Yes, throw us in the fucking room and we'll just jump in. That's what I thought. But I always said, my angle is that they said they're not really looking for a guy, Pam goes.
I remember that.
But Pam goes, it's all girls and you. And since you're so sensitive, you could probably sneak it from these fucking girls. Yeah. So I was like, they needed a girl, but they looked at me because Pam was like, this guy's just different.
What was evident to me was that Pam had a phenomenal eye.
Amazing eye.
And she saw literally diamonds in the rough, and we were diamonds in the rough. But there we were outside, and it was raining in like pebbles. We were like pebbles. We weren't diamonds. Like, it was like, that was so intense and so crazy. But I will say, you were in your head like, that was great. Wasn't that great? That was great.
Patty positive.
And I was like, that wasn't. Russell gets us a car. And I say, come with me.
Yes. Can I just comment? Hold that thought. I think you have bomb ears, though. Whitney Cummings has a great take about people's ears. When they kill, they still think they bomb. They're called bomb ears.
Mm.
And they have other people that have kill ears that they really bomb and they think they kill. I don't think I have kill ears, but I don't have bomb ears. I'm like humble ears, but you have bomb ears. So I bet you did better than you did.
Probably not.
We get. I love her honesty. God damn it.
I mean, I really wasn't ready. I was like writing shit on note cards as I'm walking up to the
stage. You were green, but I had time. I did a bunch of time for 3 years on the coffee circuit.
You were much more seasoned than me. You were 23.
I was 23, and I did my first guest spot on a TV show.
What was it?
It was a comedy show called Comedy Uncensored or something, and I did 5.
That's right.
I did 5 minutes, and I
remember you held on to that tape.
Yeah, that was my.
Look at this tape. Look what I did. Look who I am, Philly.
Look at the tape. So go ahead. Russell comes.
So Russell brings a car, and Bill Bellamy is in the car, and you, me, and Bill go to some fucking club. And I meet LL Cool J and the Louis Farrakhan people, and I, like an idiot, said, "Nice bow tie." And this motherfucker was about to kill. Like, I'll never forget that. "I like your bow tie." Oh, and I meant it. I was like, "I like your bow tie."
That's 5%ers. Wow. I remember. Am I crazy? I don't remember some of this stuff. So then what happens?
So then I met this guy. He wrote his number down. He said, "I think you're all that and a bag of chips." And I thought that was so cute.
We went to a dance club.
Yeah, it was a club. Mm-hmm. It was I think it was like a Vanity Fair, some magazine, something celebrating Bill Bellamy. They represented Bill Bellamy. I got to go on Bill Bellamy's train. You got to come on the Jenica train on the Bill Bellamy's train. And boom, there we were. I met LL.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "I know what your real name is." He was like,
"Todd." "Hi, Todd." Todd Smith.
But ladies love Cool James.
Mm-hmm.
And then we walked. Then we were nervous. We didn't hear anything. We didn't have cell phones to check. There was nobody to talk to.
SkyTel pagers.
I couldn't afford a pager at that point.
It was $15 a month. I know. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so don't shrug that off. You lived in a fucking carport with no windows. Maybe $300 a month.
It's true.
It smelled like exhaust.
It's true.
The floor was moldy.
It's true.
You had pictures on the wall of everybody you wanted to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
A silly little bed that would probably have bed bugs.
Mm-hmm.
A few products for your hygiene,
mm-hmm.
and a dream.
And a Tony Robbins tape.
And a Tony Robbins tape and a dream. And that Tony Robbins tape over and over. I mean, I don't know anybody like you. In a good way.
Oh. You're so sweet.
You earned this. You earned your shit. I didn't deserve what I got, but whatever. So that night, we walked around the streets of Soho, and I remember thinking, people are up and awake in New York. This is it. I want to be here all fucking night. We went over to the Comedy Cellar. We saw Barry. We asked if we could get on stage. We may have gotten on stage. I don't know. You may have gotten on stage, but I know that you had shared with me the night before you didn't have the red carpet that I had,
mm-hmm.
and you were in the rain. And we fell in love.
It was that night. I remember it was that night. Didn't we eat?
You're lying right now. I remember it was that night.
We fell in love that
You're
night.
You're like 19 relationships in now. You have no idea what the fuck happened.
I do. Wait. No, because we ate, and I remember laughing.
Yeah.
And we stayed up, I want to say, till
5 in the morning.
5, yeah. We stayed, and we did. We took this city over.
Yeah.
And it was one of the few times were you ever in New York before?
New York.
Were you ever in New York before?
I was as a kid, but not in that.
Yeah. I mean, we were flown to New York in 1994, apparently 30 years ago this month. And we went and were treated first class to audition for SNL at a wildly young age. She was just out of high school and would have been, and I would just been out of college.
Yeah.
and we were like there.
Yeah. In the mix.
And then like I thought I killed, and she knew she bombed. And
He was
and you were the great white hope.
Patsadena.
You were the black all
Positive Patsy.
Patsy, yes. You were black. You were with all black reps. And
Yep.
at the time, Russell's like Def Jam was just exploding, and they was like, "Yo, this is the Lily White Hope."
Yeah.
You know what I
He
mean?
actually would say, "You're the white hope.
Yeah.
You're the white hope.
And so you
Let's
were
get you on a thick-on."
you were blessed. So wait, so then I remember. Oh God, that's right. That was New York. It was Jesus. God, that's so right.
And then you had this shitty fucking car. I think you had to enter from a different door.
The left. Couldn't the driver's side was fucked up. So wait, so tell me.
And that was better than me because I had a scooter.
You had a scooter. You were Spike Jones before Spike Jones. You did. You had a fucking Vespa.
With a little basket on the back for my self-esteem.
So wait, so we go, and then what happens? We go, and then we both go back to the hotel.
And I find out I didn't get it.
Did we hook up that night?
Nope.
No, we didn't.
Nope.
See that?
You looked at me with those eyes, those blue sparkly eyes, and you were like, I think I like her. But I'm so focused on my career. Jen.
1,000%.
When's it going to happen? But I think I like her. But I'm focused.
Yes.
I got to call Al Berman.
Yes. So and we stayed in a beautiful hotel that was the size of this room.
Yeah. It's the Paramount.
Paramount.
Oh, that night I came back and 2 girls were having sex in the room next to me.
How do you know?
Because I heard it.
This?
Oh, they were definitely scissor. I mean, I didn't hear the humping, but I heard the and then a different voice.
Really?
And I mean, I get a little excited thinking about it because I was sort of like, should I? I mean, I was really innocent
Was the bean? Did you think about flicking the bean?
No, I would never touch a vagina.
Your own bean.
Oh, my own bean. Probably.
Because the rumor was that you were a hardcore lesbian.
The rumor is always that, and I've never.
And you've never been. You're strictly.
I'm strictly hetero.
You're strictly dickly. Like you're a. Like
that's gonna be the name of my memoir. Strictly Dickly.
You're a tough.
Jenica Bergere.
You're a tough chick that has the intensity of a man but loves men.
I do.
You
I love
do.
a dude.
You love a dude, and that's. Well, we'll go back to that, but that's what your appeal is. It's because you're so funny. Like you go at it, and these things come out of you. We're similar in the sense where we don't. I mean, it's really hard for me to write. I'm not gonna lie. Like I can't believe I made a career off of like ideas, and then I help get formulated them. But brilliance will come out mid emotion, and that's how you are.
Oh.
You are, and then you'll be. I'll never forget. We had a huge fight, but I want to go back to this. We had a massive fucking fight, and you said some quote in the middle of the fight. I'm like, and then you said some quote, and I go, "Oh my God, that's brilliant!" You go, "Awesome, Jamie. Write it down. Slap it on the wall. Put it up there." I'll never forget.
That is so fucking true.
I never forget that. It was mid-fight, but you said this brilliant line. I'm like, that's so good. You go, awesome, Jamie. Write it down. Slap it on the wall.
Because no one could compete with that wall.
I had everybody.
But no one could compete with that wall. That wall was your best friend. Mm-hmm. That was your shining hope. There was no... I'm surprised we even fell in love. I'm surprised you left the door open.
Are you saying I'm a narcissist? What's the mentality here?
Yes.
But I'm a loving narcissist.
Narcissists aren't always Trump. They aren't always bad people.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
She said it. I didn't say it, guys. They're gonna come for you.
Are they? I hope QAnon comes for me.
I got a lot of Trumpies in here. But wait, narcissism, though, is usually not self-aware at all. I'm very self-aware.
Yeah, you have that weird dichotomy. That's maddening.
Yes. Wait, I want to go back and then I want to go back to that. So go back. So you came back. When you found out that night from who?
No, that morning. They said a car will be there at 10 a.m. to pick you up. I'm listening to the two chicks have, lesbian love.
Bump.
And then I called my parents on a payphone. We had payphones. And I said, I don't think that it's going further. And my dad said, well, that's all right, kid. Did they pay for the room? I was like,
Her
yeah.
dad, brilliant jazz musician.
He was amazing.
Artist, brilliant.
I love that you loved him too.
I love him.
Just like I love Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so and I get in the limo and Molly Shannon's in the limo. And
do people understand this?
yeah.
Do you understand this?
Like comedy god.
But you also understand that it's like in the limo, you're both competing, but you're not. But you understand this? This was like gatekeepers, the best of the best guys. It's not Snapchat, and I blew up on Snapchat. This is like how we did it.
The real system.
And it's really tough, but guess what? When you get through the hurdle, you feel amazing. Go ahead. Wow.
So I said, I sat in the car. The guy put the suitcase in the back, and I just burst into tears. And she goes, oh, honey, it's going to be okay. And I said, I just can't tell my parents. I just can't go back and tell them I didn't get the show that changed our lives. Because SNL was the one thing I was allowed to watch. Like my parents had On and Select TV. I don't know if you remember that. It was a button.
Mm-hmm.
And if you switched it to Select TV, you got some nudie movies.
Mm-hmm. Through the squiggles.
Right. But if you went to On TV, the only bad thing on television was SNL. And my parents would let me watch it. And it was a personal disappointment that I didn't get it. So I start crying, and she said, what are you crying about? I'm almost 30. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. Because 30 sounded like 90. And we remained friends for a little bit, and she invited me to her show, and she had this one last hurrah where she did her show. She was like, I'm putting my show up, and she was putting it up at the Sofitel Hotel, like in the boardroom or something like that, and went and saw her. She was brilliant, funny, and none of us got it. Laura Keitling, that's the other person. Laura Keitlinger came in from the side.
She had a great set.
She had a great set. It was political. It was smart. Yeah, she's gorgeous. And that was that.
Did she get it?
She got it.
So she got it.
It was somebody to match Janine Garofalo. That's what they were looking for.
And Janine left. And
they both left.
And then Sarah came on.
And then Michaela Watkins and others.
I want to say it was Janine first, Laura, and they both kind of left, Sarah, and then Molly.
Yeah. So Molly replaced...
And Sarah was there only a year, I think.
The whole. You mean, Sarah was only there a year, and Laura was only there 6 months.
Yes. So then, listen to this. So we all think we're there. You just said something. I want to keep going on the timeline, but at the next year, you want to talk about fucking wildness, but also humble pie uncomfortableness, is I go to Second City. And I'm not a big paying for improv guy. I'm just not.
You refuse to pay for that?
Well, it's just like, I don't need some guy from fucking Poughkeepsie, New York that graduated with a program. No matter if you can do more accents than him, he's going, well, this is what you have to go through. I get it's a feeder system for that show, but other than that, it's like, guy, I go to the clubs, do a bar in Boston, get beaten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it doesn't work. I just get annoyed because you're a struggling artist, and I was always able to find deals where you could sweep the floors for, stuff. I go, and Pam's like, we have to go. I want you to come to Groundlings. And I go, I'm not fucking taking Groundlings. And she goes, I need to come because I'm going to watch two guys. And she goes, I go, well, what about me auditioning again? She goes, you still need to work more, and then I'm going to get you a second audition. So it was like a 3-year thing. I was like, and I go and watch a show, and there's 10 people in the show, and I watch 3 people that absolutely destroy. One's Molly Shannon, one's Chris Kattan, and one's Will Ferrell. And I'm at that Groundling show, and Pam goes, Molly's coming back this year. I've heard so much about Chris, and I heard so much about Will. And she goes, these guys, and boom, I was there. I said hi to them, but they were both freaked out. Like, they were all in their head. Within a week, they were on a plane in New York.
So did you change your philosophy about Second City and Groundlings?
No, I think I went to the Cow's End and did an open mic.
Yeah, because that's better with Barry.
Exactly. But I mean, well, they didn't want me at that point, but I'm like, I'm not going to go back down. Like, even though, like, I understand what you're saying, but I was already done enough that I didn't, but yeah. So go ahead.
I just remember when we broke up, you exploded. And nothing is worse than fucking looking at your ex in Times Square when you can't get a fucking guest star.
Wait a minute. So let's go back to that. What? So we go. Wow, I gotta hear this.
Did you like that noise for the podcast?
Very sexy and demure. So wait, you go back. What happened when we left New York? I got your number.
I don't remember. We started doing open mics together, and it sounds more romantic than it was, but we started doing bits about each other. Like, I was trying to remember them
but
today.
We weren't dating yet.
No, but anytime I criticized you, you thought that was hot. You were like,
yeah, you have a lacerating tongue.
Thanks.
You have a lacerating tongue.
Say more.
But it's funny because it's like I probably am attracted to, I don't want to get weird, but it's like my mother and nuns.
Josie's contained.
Yes. But
she's very contained. I'm a little wild.
You're wild, but like I've grown up with strong female.
Oh, your sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that I respond. There's a difference between a criticism and a criticism that's funny. So you were always funny.
Right.
And then you come with that tongue, and I'm like, damn, this girl's got balls. Like, you would cut. I see you make grown men cry. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're like you were already doing it at 19. You have the soul of a 52-year-old jazz musician, which is your father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you had the oldest of souls, and and there was only one other girl that I've seen like that. It was Crystal Marie Denha. You know who that is?
No.
Okay, she's a very funny comic, but for years she wasn't. She just did many different jobs, but she used to make grown athletes cry with her lacerating tongue. I just remember we started hanging out, and I like you said, like I was like I fell in love with you, and you were. I had never known anything. Can I talk about this? I mean,
yeah.
I never knew anything about the program. You were 19. You're like, I'm strung out.
Anonymous program.
Yeah, you were like, oh man, I hit rock bottom at 17. Someone took the basket off my little bicycle. Like, I'm like, you're 19, have a fucking Bud Light. You're like, nah, man, I seen shit. You're this sexy little tart running around. And I'm like, but I wasn't drinking or anything. I was like so Johnny focused, I didn't really start drinking. Not that I drink a ton, but like when I started getting successful, and then you're at like rap parties. That's why I told people I always started like, you're like.
So the rap party brought you in.
The rap. But I'd never gone to meetings. I never went to Log Cabin. I never went to Fairfax Church. I never went to the fucking OA. I wrote so many bits about OA, AA, NA, fucking. Step off, bitch. What's the 15th step? Like, there was just so many steps, and I gave you chips and cakes and cookies, and this is my 13th and a half day step off of thinking about cocaine. Here's my 17-day chip off of gluten. Like, am I crazy?
I didn't expand that way. I made fun of people that expanded that way. For me, Alcoholics Anonymous was it.
Was LA the craziest it's ever been with those meetings? Because I don't see them as much as they were. They were everywhere.
Right now, they're on Zoom. The pandemic switched everything to Zoom.
But are they still huge? Like, you would walk in and Robert Downey Jr. be there.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's back.
It's crazy the amount of wild people I met through you.
Yeah. Yeah. And all good people.
They're all good, but they would share.
I will say they're all shitty employees. Like, when I owned a restaurant with my husband, we don't hire people in the program.
Now, so wait, we started going out, and I'm gonna give you your flowers because your flowers need to bloom. Is that we had a lot of laughs, and we had a lot of fights.
A lot of drama.
I know.
I mean, literally. I mean, all I just remember was like in the rain, in my apartment, your apartment, in the cars, in front of the clubs, in front of the Jen, look at me. Look at me. Okay, feel me. Touch me. Don't do this, Jen. Do you want to go get me some clothes? I got an audition. I got to come with me and we'll pick out some clothes. I got $250 off this Blockbuster, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't getting there yet.
No, you
There's so many stories.
At the end.
I will need 75 fucking hours.
Podcast.
But this is one of the many things you did. I was in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
And I stayed with you. I was living with you.
Yeah.
You were the first person I ever lived with. Ever. And you let me live with you. I was your bitch. And she lived off of Cochrane, because that's where my...
Cochrane.
Yeah.
Cochrane.
And so I love that part of town. You were 6th and Cochrane.
You like that part of town because it says cock?
And I ran. My cock ran. And you lived in the beautiful little fucking, like, it has a European feel there with the windows open.
Yeah.
And what was your rent?
Then it was like 700.
Yeah, which was like a lot.
Yeah, that was I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Like I had to throw rent parties.
Yeah. Which were what?
Charge people at the door, have a dance party.
God, you did. You were so smart. Yeah. So there's a lot. I'm skipping, but I'm going to go back to it. Is that I had a kidney problem. I was getting my kidney taken out, basically.
Does your audience know about this?
Probably. It's in my book. I talk about it.
Yeah.
And you were there, and we were deep into our relationship. And she's in my book.
And I thought, like, it was during the time that I didn't even have money to get down to Harbor UCLA.
Yeah, she went to Harbor.
Like, Al Berman had to pick me up in your car.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he was so heavy, the car was weighed down.
Every fucking comic should hear this. We really were broke.
It was real.
And we really did it. We didn't have no bullshit. We had nothing. But we had...
We weren't influencers.
No.
We didn't have ways to make money on the social media.
We weren't showing
It was
our
like if you made money, it was like,
or balls.
I mean, you showed your balls. Remember the one time you went to the thing and it was like you answered some ad that was possibly Craigslist and there was the creepy dude that wanted your balls.
Yeah, he wanted to give me a free colonoscopy.
Which is code for ass rape.
Yeah, and I got out of there. Before the ass rape.
It really freaked you out.
It freaked me out because I was like,
we gotta find that dude.
I think he lives right off of fucking Hilldale.
I'm so glad you have real estate here.
So wait, we're all over the place. This is exactly like we're together again. Okay, listen. So
we're together. We're all together.
So wait, so we go and I'm in the hospital and I'm fucked. I never felt close to I was the weakest I've ever been. I was doing the ball thing. You have to suck it and blow the ball and move it like a millimeter to get energy. Because when you get something taken out of your midsection, it's your core. Oh. And so they fucked my core, but in a good way. But it's like it takes days to get strength. And so I'm in that hospital. My parents are visiting. You're visiting. Fucking different people are visiting. Al. And you came down. And it's a long story, but I'll get to the simple. It's in my book. And this guy was threatening me. And he said something to her like this. And he's like, yeah, who's the piece of puss? Like, he was like, no, but he literally sat there and he was like a fuck. This guy got...
No, he was straight up a convict. But
he got stabbed with a pool cue, the fat end.
Yeah. He had tattoos before people had tattoos.
Yeah, he had neck tattoos in the early 90s. That was a no-no.
Nobody had that.
No.
Not
that
even
was,
a chef.
No, he was repping. He was yard out. And he got a fucking colostomy bag because he was stabbed with a fucking pool cue, the fat end. So, like, they literally had to redo his fucking bowel. So this meaning he was perforated by something so blunt. And this motherfucker was tough, and he was angry. And he was like, literally, you came in, and he's like, there's a piece of puss in here. And he had this.
I don't know if that's complimentary or if I actually have stank vagina.
And you're like, excuse me. Like, we were talking. Excuse me. And I'm like, And you're like, hey, darling, why don't you come on over here and change my shit sack? Like, and you're like, no, asshole. And he's like, fuck you, cunt. Like, he went there. And I was like.
And then I went back.
No, and then she goes like this. She goes, that guy's so rude. She goes, Jamie, do something. And I'm like, She's like, fucking be a man. And I'm like, wired up. Fucking. I'm like, and she's like, beat his fucking ass. And I'm like, and he's like,
You're on death's door.
I'm on death's door. And he's like, I wish that motherfucker would come over this side of the curtain. Like, and you're like, and then you went like, I'm having a cigarette. And you left me. You literally, this is a woman. This is a woman, guys. You literally, like, I'm on death's door. You want me fucking killed. This dude did 18 to life, got out to get this shit. And you're like, I'm smoking a cigarette. I can't fucking believe you didn't defend my honor. I'll never forget.
But somehow
I got out of it, though. He did not fuck me up.
He didn't. He couldn't get out of bed.
I gave him my pill. This is one thing. I gave him like the Laudits or some shit.
So you befriended him.
Well, I had to because I was like, just take these fucking pills, dude. Don't
just take these because Jenica fucked this relationship up.
Yeah, I
like
can't
you were going to be best friends anyway.
He could have pillow-headed me.
I think that is the epitome of us.
Exactly.
That should be a short. Like we should just do shorts.
Yes.
Of
and me thinking
crazy in love.
And me thinking I killed at SNL. But you.
I was great.
Because Farley was like, that was great, man. So here's what I want to say though. I owe you. Because
make me cry.
I do because to everyone out there, it was a different time. Like we didn't have, like now the clubs want all names and people that can put butts in seats, and I understand the model, but back then all the clubs were their own fiefdom, and you really couldn't play the same club at all, let alone the same night. Like, you just couldn't do that because it was a violation. Like, there were store comics, improv comics, and then the factory kind of could take both. They were kind of, like, open. And then there was Igby's and then the Ice House. And, you know, they were very hard to get into, but at least they had something called New Faces Night where they would nurture new talent. They would take a 19-year-old girl from Palm Springs and a 23-year-old guy, and they would say, you're going to do 4 minutes. And it's going to be agent night or whatever. So I was
showcase night.
Showcase. Yeah. So we would go and do 5 nights a week on the open mics, and on the weekends we would try. But those were when the headliners were booked. But if we got like a tiny guest spot on the weekend, that was your entree into like getting into the bigger clubs. And at that time, there was something called Please Allows. You know, so, and I never really had any love at the store until you. So you were with Russell. You came in, big swinging dick, Stan Lathan, who...
My dick and his.
Yeah, and Stan is still the biggest swinging dick. He does all Chappelle specials. And he's the superest, most beautiful soul. And you big upped me to him, brought Stan out. Stan liked me, and so I got a Please Allow, and you were doing like your spot in the OR, and I got a Please Allow Jamie Kennedy 5 minutes because Stan and Russell want to see him. So I go, and I do 5 minutes. I'm sure I killed.
Absolutely.
and, and then I leave.
No doubt about it.
And I leave, and somebody is there, either there or somewhere else, where they said that you got a pilot, and it was called How High.
Yeah.
And I just talked to David Lasher like 6 months ago. I did his pod.
Oh, yeah.
And Lash was the star of this pilot with Ron Levitt.
And Jessica Hahn.
Jessica Hahn. And somebody was there or something, and they saw me, or he saw me, or Stan saw me there. It was a great night. I just remember it was a great night. My spot did what it was supposed to do, and you pushed, and the store was like, who is this guy? And you're like, he's my fucking boyfriend, but he's talented. And so you pushed, and you had this wild clout early in your career at the store. Like you had, like Mitzi just was like, looked at
Whatever Jenica wants, Jenica. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You were
She's a star.
You were 19, and Mitzi was like grooming you to be fucking Phyllis Diller, but like Drew Barrymore, right? And
Or Roseanne.
so I go and I have whatever happens, and then I meet Ron Levitt out of that, and I was like, me, I'm so method when I'm fucking scared and shit, so I just go in the room, and the character's Stoney, and he's like, can you play Stone? I was like, what? Like, and I just, and we had conversations. He's like, are you Stone? I'm like, I mean, I partake. Like, I was just, and Jessica was, I think, in the room, and she's like, she was just dying.
Oh, Jessica loved you. I remember that.
She was so sweet.
Because I shared a smoked with her, and she's like,
Your boyfriend's just so funny. He's so funny.
And she's royalty because of Sam Kinison, and then she was with Ron.
Yeah.
And so Ron is the man who created many things, but Married with Children. That was his big, and he wrote on, I think, Taxi. He was leggendary, but Married with Children he built the Fox network.
Yeah.
So this pilot was for Fox, and it was before there was younger programming. So it was Jessica Hahn, David Lasher, who was
Denise Richards.
he was he known from Blossom, Kevin Connolly. Denise was like the school hottie.
Wendy Benson,
who I don't think liked me, and you were. What was your role? You were like,
I was the lesbian.
you had the lesbian.
I was the leader of my first line was
right.
nobody calls me a dyke.
Yes, can you say that anymore? So that was her, and then I was Stoney. I was the stoner character, and I think there was like 9 people that you would recognize on this fucking pilot.
Oh yeah, that pilot. We gotta find that pilot. That would be great.
And I want to say it was red-headed hottie Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki Cox
Nikki Cox too. So it was like jam-packed.
with talent.
And Jessica, you were my biggest fan, and then Jessica like picked up where you and all I did was just act stoned all day.
You were method. Like it was kind of like.
I was scared. I didn't want to get fired, and so I just.
And I remember thinking in my new sobriety, like he has no idea what getting high is like.
Yeah.
Like I was already a
Yes.
veteran who had lived on the streets.
You did, and from that, the pilot didn't get picked up, and remember that was a big deal. Ron was really upset because he's like, I built this fucking network, but Ron is what we call a supermensch. Like he literally he's another person. I'm so lucky in my career to have these people that see these diamonds in the rough, right? Because I was real raw.
Yeah.
And then from that didn't go, but he loved me, and Jessica loved me so much that I went on and did Unhappily Ever After.
Yep.
And I did fucking 4 or 5 episodes of that. I was a reoccurring character on one of the WB's like first sitcoms.
And you were like, Jenica who?
And I'm going to tell you one other thing. There's many things I could say, and then before we broke up, we were into the Man's Chinese Theater. I'll never forget this. And we were watching a movie, whatever it was, 94. I want to say like The Professional or some movie.
Oh.
And I was just like watching this movie, and you turn to me and you go, you're going to be up there. And I said, how do you know? And you said, I don't know, but you're going to do it. I feel it. And then we had our thing. We went the rest of our way. And then that was in 94. And I remember going to the premiere of Romeo and Juliet at the Man's Chinese. And I
Holy
was
shit.
in the middle, and I'm looking at myself the first time I came on the movie theater. And I'm like, Jenica did this.
Oh,
I'll never forget that.
I could die and go to heaven right now. That's very sweet.
I'm literally like Leo, Paul Rudd, everyone, Dash. But I'm literally thought Jenica did this. Because we were in the same theater where you said it.
Yeah. It's funny how you can manifest something for somebody else.
Wait, when we broke up, you said you saw me everywhere. I got to hear about this.
Oh, did you want to talk about yourself?
A little bit.
Okay. So,
Juliette Lewis said that was the worst thing about when she broke up with Brad Pitt. So I'm just curious.
yeah, I mean that's a thing for girls. I mean,
Let's
and
just be
now
hon-
that there's
but let's-
social media, it's like,
But who dumped me?
did I dump you?
She dumped me.
I dumped you?
Yep.
Huh. It was for, I think it was for Andrew Wilder.
You went out with Andrew?
You met Andrew through me.
I did?
Yes.
Great writer.
He's a great writer.
Hilarious.
He's a Christian now.
Is he?
I think so.
Isn't he Jewish?
Yes.
He
converted.
gave me one of my greatest roles ever in Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Again, through you. I met him through
I
you.
love the 6 degrees of
I
separation.
met him through you.
Jenica.
Oh, it was probably a chip. I gave him a chip too. But
Yeah.
it was you. I met him
He
through
just
you.
broke his.
Well, you.
I can break mine. The rule is you can break your own.
All right. Well, doesn't everyone know when they're so? I met another big actor that I became friends with through him, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Let me guess. Anthony Hopkins.
No, they're tight.
Downey.
No.
Toby.
No. Stop. No.
Yeah.
No.
Please erase this.
Stop that. Delete all
Please
that.
erase this level. It's yeah. Please erase that part. So wait, what was I get? Oh, I was going to tell you about you. So it's funny that I'm here on this podcast and seeing you this week because my daughter, True Jackson, musician, 19, amazing,
Amazing.
full of spit and fire and talent and thoughtful talent and on the precipice.
Mm-hmm. She's
And
about to blow up.
So I want her to go. She wanted us to go to the Laugh Factory. We go see Ruben Paul, my good friend, and she was in the middle of. She has been in the middle of a terrible relationship that was very painful.
Really?
Yeah, and I used you as an example of saying years late. In years from now, you will not feel this pain. This is a source of great art and great growth. But I assure you, you will not feel this intensely about this person. And she would say, but it's so hard because he's booked a show and we're on the same show, or he took my guitarist and he's on this show and he's that. And I started going through all of our history trying to remember anything, but I had been relieved of any animosity towards you. And I just shared with her, I'm telling you, kid, nothing is worse than, selling your sitcom to Nick at Night, and it's the 4th sitcom you've sold. Nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody knows what's going on. You've struggled to get that there, and you walk out and you see your ex-boyfriend in Times Square from The Mask being advertised. Just like the thing about show business is we equate value and personal growth with what we see. And we all know that story's not true. Like, I remember it was funny when we got together once when we were going to maybe do that project with David Sheridan. And I think you were very sweet, but you were like, look at my house, look at my car, look at my things. And I made a joke about how something about you're going to end up alone. And you were like, no, how could you say that to me? How could you you, Jenica, look at me. Jen, stop this. You don't know shit. And
I didn't say look at my car. I'm not that guy.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Out of the blue. Hey, Jen, you know what
rolled
time it
up-
is?
no.
Look at my Aston Martin.
Just happened to be. And your caddy. And I had that moment where,
Call cap.
huh?
I'm sure there was more context than that, but go ahead.
Oh, there was more context.
Yeah.
I mean, you're very funny. It wasn't like
You were
like,
probably like, Jamie, you haven't done any personal work on yourself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got a fucking car. I got a house.
That's exactly what happened.
yeah, probably that. Go ahead.
You told it better than I.
Yeah.
So anyway, I explained this to her, and I've used you as many of his name. We gotta go.
No, I'm just making sure the tape doesn't run because that's amazing. Go ahead.
Used you as an example many times. The love of my life, my first love, and that you will come through this, and there will be art from it, and there will be another side to this, and you will come back together at some point, and you won't feel that pain, that jealousy, that envy, that hatred, that animosity. So the other night, my daughter's visiting she's on spring break from NYU. She goes to the Clive Davis School of Recorded Music. Very proud of her. We go to the Laugh Factory, and I say, "Do you see Jamie?" To Ruben, he's like, "Yeah, he's around. He did the show, but did that." And True goes, "Oh my God, my mom always talks about Jamie like as the first love of her life, and how." I'm doing a terrible impression of True. She doesn't sound like a Valley girl. And what's he like? And she's like, he's good. I'm sure he's around, blah, blah, blah. We drive over to the Improv, and in walks. I look over, and I see this, like, 80-year-old looking guy with a cool satin jacket, Air Jordans, and a hat. And I'm like, why does that aging guy look so fucking fly? That's Jamie. And from my head to my toe, it was like all lives aligning, all theories, all pathologies, all because we have a connection. We will always have a connection, no matter what.
100%.
And you say, you bump into me, or I bumped into you, and you go, what? What? And I go, you don't recognize the love of your life? And you go, holy, Jenica, you don't even know. You don't even know what I'm going through right now.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, we picked up where we left off. It's about you.
No, because let me tell you my side of it. But this is literally, we are so connected in synapses, and everything is quantum entanglement. Like, so I go there. I haven't seen you in years. We had dinner at that place. We were trying to get my movie made. And then I talked to you throughout the years because you did this movie. And you're
Wait,
like,
I'm going to tell you the last time I saw you.
when was the last time you saw me?
I pulled up to the Coffee Bean to give you a script back. And we had gotten in a fight because we had done something about that movie, and you and Worthy and blah, 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 it doesn't matter. Pull up to Coffee Bean, and my daughter, True, pops out of the sunroof, and you go, oh my God, she's so beautiful. She's, hi. And then you're like in this childlike zone with True. Hi, True. True. What a great name. I said, what? And you're like in this zone, and you go, can I take her to Disneyland? And I go, get the fuck out of here, Jamie.
That sounds.
And you go, why not? Why? Why can't I take her to Disneyland? We could all go together. Do you like Disneyland? She's like, yes, I do. She's like 2, literally sitting out of the sunroof. And I go, because I was in love with you. And she's mine. And no, we're not going to Disneyland. Cut to.
That sounds so weird now at this day and age.
I know.
Which is not. I love Disneyland.
You're suddenly worried. You're worried about your sponsors, Sheath
What?
underwear. Sheath underwear for children.
I probably was amazed that you had a little child, and I was like, this is like, I felt fatherly towards her because it was yours.
Right.
What could have been.
So 10, 15 years later, we're aligning, we see each other, and you were going to say, well, so you had a fight with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I run back in, I said, Jamie Kennedy's here, and she's like, oh my God. And her friend's like, oh my God. Because first of all, they fucking know who you are.
Which is crazy.
So it's like a legend, right? It's like a legend, the legend of Jamie Kennedy, who my mom once was engaged and loved and did whatever. And then he's also the qualifier for my personal recovery on this horrible breakup. And he's also the reference for hope. You will come to a place when you will come together and it'll be fine. You'll be good. And you'll recognize your life and he'll recognize his life and you will always feel chemical. The cells will still react, but it's not something that you will have to decide on anymore, where you have to make an effort to smoke a cigarette, drink something, write a song, blah, 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 to get over it. You'll sit with it. You'll be all right. So you get on stage. You had a great set.
Oh, thank you.
It wasn't your set. Some fucking crazy broad. What was so great is you were so interested in the crazy broad. And I said to True, she said, is he nervous right now? Is he mad right now? Is he upset right now? She's like asking me because trying to understand the improvisational nature of it. And I'm like, no, this is comedy gold. This is an opportunity. And what was so great is you have always been able to be present, even though I know most of the time you're thinking of yourself. So she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm okay. And I was like, are you okay? And she's like, I just think it's so weird that it's him. And I'm on this trip with my friend and blah, blah, blah. And then we go outside, you meet True. And the one thing you said was,
I asked her to go to Disneyland.
and you said you were having a hard time with your girlfriend and something, you guys had a fight. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to do that because my husband and I fight about other things, not life things like birth, marriage, death. We don't fight about those things, right? We fight about deeper, weirder, inconsequential things. Those are consequential. And I said, what did I say to you?
Have a kid.
Yep. Have a baby, Jamie.
Have a baby.
Have a baby. It's time. These pictures and everything are awesome for the baby. And the baby would love to play with Slappy.
Well, wait.
And blow it up and scream. And this dude. The baby would love all these things. But I will say it's incredibly expansive to procreate. It's the ultimate form of creation.
I can only imagine. It's just a responsibility.
Yeah, it comes. What if I told you if you have a baby right now, you'll be the lead of your own show, a movie star again, and a loaf of bread comes?
I would say I should get to pumping.
You should get to fucking.
I should get to pumping. But this really took a turn. I thought we were just going to talk about the moment at the door.
Tell me about the moment at the door.
Well, I walk in, and some fucking chick is blocking the fucking door. And I like to go in because it's my office. And, whatever you think about me, some people want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to people. I just want to sneak the fuck in. I usually go in the back way. We all do. And we'll run on stage and fucking say what's up to Rocky and then bounce, right? And I was having problems because you were literally in the middle. So, and I was like, who's this fucking be?
And I'm like wide now. I'm like triple the size.
No, you stand your ground strong. And so then I got around, and then I'm like, what's up, dude? And then it's what's up? And then I turn, and then I hear, and then it was like a movie, and you go, Jamie! Well, your stupid American spirit or whatever you're sucking on now. It's a healthy one. And I go,
It's holistic.
and I'm so in my head going through some shit, you know what I'm saying? Literally I'd say it. It's the most calm part of my day is on stage. And then I look out and I'm like, that's Jenica. And then you go, what? You don't remember me? You fucking dog, you love it, you fucking alive.
How did I turn into Vinny Barbarino?
You have a
Give
little,
him a plate of tacos or something.
Or something. Oh, that's so good. It was early. You have that attitude. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I hug you and I was like,
Yeah.
that,
And you
this,
put
and I
your
had to
hand
go
on my shoulder and you said to the door guy, this is the love of my What the fuck? Why? I gotta do my set.
Yeah.
Let's talk afterward.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. A lot going on. And you had a kid, and then she had her friend, and then you were like introduced me before the set. You're like, "This is my daughter," and I was like, "Hi," and we shook hands. And then some fucking crazy ass chick was snorting poppers and heckling, and I had to deal with. That was a true great night of comedy because what was going on in my head in my life, seeing you. Tired from the other 2 sets I did. Your daughter, all her shit was going on. What your shit, your and my shit, the heckler lady shit. End of the show. It was you had a strong ass lineup, and I'm like, I just went on stage. I'm like, fuck, whatever happens, happens.
I thought it was a great set.
It was great.
I was like, he still got it.
Oh, I'd hope so. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you never know.
I pay rent with it.
And that means.
What do you mean? You think you're gonna lose it? You don't get worse as a comedian.
I think I've lost it.
No fucking way.
I've. Let me say this. I didn't lose it.
I'm listening.
Made it go a different way.
Yeah, you made it go.
I've channeled it.
Oh
a
my God!
different
Put
way.
that in.
Where's it go?
Where was that?
It was over there. I thought.
Was it? Go ahead. You made it go a certain way.
Where did this go?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yes.
What about right there?
Where
I
was
thought
it?
it came from there. You don't even know. You really want to prove that you're tech savvy, and you got some guy setting this up for you. There you go.
No,
That's frightening.
How did it go a different way? You just became. Here's what I want to tell you.
My journey's been
Let me tell you what happened.
longer, and I'm actually in a place that I'm really happy about.
I know. I'm sorry.
Career-wise, but I'm not in the place. I've never been in the place that you landed, and I won't even say landed. You did not land. You absolutely made that. There is no one more talented. Maybe Mel Brooks.
Stop it.
Maybe Albert Brooks.
Stop
All
it.
the Brooks.
There's a lot of talented people.
From our era, you designed that, and you fought for that, and you created that, you manifested that. And never did I once think he doesn't deserve that. Never in my sad days of, we didn't work out, and Jamie got this, and I gave him that, and this happened there. Never did I say he didn't earn it.
Well, thank you. You really did put me on. Like you were the. I'm just thinking of the time because I want to make sure that I don't run out of tape, but I have it. You were the hotter commodity than I was. When I met you,
Yeah.
you already had big management.
Yeah.
You already had the love of Mitzi, the toughest, booker in town, the owner, the legend. Who came out of that place was even more than the improv. And you had all of this heat. I hate the term heat. And everyone's like, this girl is going to be hot, sexy, funny, opinionated. Like, if you would have had a podcast then, along with all the other stuff you were doing, you would have had a #1 podcast because you were just a fucking wave of energy.
Yeah.
And I latched on to you. And you liked me. But you, but I didn't take, you are, and this is what I'm going to say. It's like, you can't really say stuff about Ellen anymore. People have so much bad stuff to say about, and I don't know her, like all the other stuff, but you were like Ellen. Ellen really encourages people who are funny. You thought I was funny. I made you laugh, and you nurtured me.
Thank you.
It's the truth, and there's no animosity or jealousy, and that's rare in our business. It's less now because I think people think they can make it off of social media, so they're less competitive. I mean, I guess they are, but I'm not. I've lived a lot, so maybe I'm not as competitive anymore because I'm like, I love the camaraderie of it. But back then, when there was only X amount of slots, and I know you're a woman, I'm a man, but they would still want the funniest person.
Right.
We weren't really competitive. You were like, I love this guy. And you were like, I have a lot of heat. this guy's unknown. You need to be more propped up. You were one of my biggest cheerleader.
Thank you.
And it's like,
It's so nice to be.
well, it's just, but you were so confident in yourself. And so I was like, there's just many times I remember we're driving back from Palm Springs and I was playing blackjack and I'm like, I need to make $200. And you're like, okay. So we stopped at some casino and I had a big bet. It was $40, $40 fucking dollars. And I fucking had to double down and I lost. And it was $80. It could have been a 160 swing. And I was like so upset. I'm like, I need that fucking money. And you grab my head and you go, Jamie, you're crying about $80. They go, you're going to have such a life that $80 won't be a fucking drop in your bucket. I'll never forget that. Like, there's moments that you don't even know that you touched me. And I was like, you think so? And you go, yes, it's $80.
I do remember that. It was Morongo.
Yes, it was Morongo. They fucking hit me for fucking 80. But you were so you didn't have any money.
No.
I didn't have any money.
I mean, it was like if we were going to make it home, it was going to be on fumes alone.
So you always bigged me up, and I'll never forget that. But what's wild is that you don't realize that you broke up with me.
I'm vaguely remembering it now. I think it was just too much craziness.
How crazy?
Too much narcissism and too much.
On whose side?
Oh, come on.
On whose side?
Al Berman's side. Yours.
You didn't have narcissism?
I don't know that I've
Here's what it is. I'll never forget it. I went to your place, and you told me that you needed somebody in the program. Do you remember this?
No.
And
because I needed to be spiritually aligned.
And I was like, girl, you're 19. A fucking shot of tequila is not going to kill you. I wasn't even drinking, but I'm like, smoke a joint, relax. And you're like, no. And you're like, 29,000 cigarettes in an hour. But you're like, I'm getting healthy. Downing coffee before Starbucks was even invented. And I'm like, you're like, you don't understand my sobriety. And I'm like, you're 9 and you're like, you don't understand my sobriety. And you were 20. And I'm like, you're 20. I'm like, you didn't even live yet. Now, granted, I'm not going to name other people, but I met other actors who were 20 and 21 who were also mad sober. But you weren't a kid actor, but you started at such a younger age. And these guys did too, that they were already burnt out by 16. So I didn't learn that until later.
Right.
So you were definitely.
So that was just bizarre to you.
Super bizarre to me. But
yeah, and then also my allegiance to the program was a little bizarre at the time. But if you think cognitively and developmentally at 19, it was something that was outside of my parents to hold on to. That was a community that lifted me up. I mean, I literally grew up in sobriety.
Yeah, it was a religion for you. And it was good because you had a lot of ways you could have gone. Like if you had done a couple of rails, I couldn't imagine what you'd be like. You know what I mean? You were already wild. And so.
Arrested. That's him.
Yeah. But I didn't see it. I just saw it as like this young, beautiful woman. I'm like, what's the problem? But so I was annoyed because I think there was more A's than you realize. It wasn't just AA and it was NA, and I did something and you're like, you need to go to Verbal A, like Verbal Abuse Anonymous, like you're verbally abusing me. I'm like and then it was like gluten free, and then I just remember there was a lot and I wasn't sensitive enough to that. And so you were like, I need to be with somebody who fucking understands what I'm going through. And I was in your house and I think I tried to hook up with you and you're like, no. Not with my spirit, not with my body, or something like that. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but one last. And I was like kissing you, like
one last hit.
Yeah, and you're like, no, get sober. I'm like, I don't drink. You're like, but you have the thoughts of an alcoholic or some shit. And
I definitely remember you having an ism. If it wasn't alcohol, you were intense.
Intensism.
Yeah, intensism.
And then I left. Because I got Romeo and Juliet. I just gotten it. It was a big deal, and you were happy for me. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be gone for 2 months. And you're like, just go. Just go.
Just go to Mexico and become a movie star. Just go.
And you said go. Yeah, and you said just go, and I need to live my life. And then I fucking literally went, and then I was gone because I went from like 3 movie to I hit a thing, and I was gone for like 6 months. And you were already you had another man, and to this day that is your husband.
That is my husband.
So I don't want to say anything. And you're my first and always going to be my.
He will beat you up.
My specialist. Is he still mad at me?
No, he's like, listen to his podcast. What's he talking about? Yeah, get into it. It's fine. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
He is your husband, and I am Good Luck Chuck. Because this happens a couple times after you. I'm Good Luck Chuck. You
so
learn on me.
After me, and I got my husband, then there was Jennifer Love. Was she directly after me? No.
No, couple. That was a while after you.
Who were your?
I'm also kind of Good Luck Chuck for her. I don't want to drop names. I'll drop them. Sarah Shahi, Good Luck Chuck for her.
Who else?
Heidi, kind of Good Luck Chuck for her.
Tell me about your girlfriend now.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
That's like you went.
Stop it.
What's her name?
Alyssa. But stop. I would like to separate.
Milano?
Yes. Can I go back for a second?
Yeah. You want to go back on this energy, don't you?
We were connecting.
We were.
So all I'm saying is, was your boyfriend be mad that you did this?
My husband?
Your husband, yeah.
The father of my children?
Yeah.
No.
He wouldn't care.
No.
But he was mad at me?
Way back when?
Yeah.
I think you're the other woman.
Wow.
And to my kid, you're that reference of the first love. And for me, you are. Story's not over. I will always be.
I'm trying to catch hands.
Meaning.
So shut this fucking camera off and meet me in the bathroom.
And I'll lock myself in there by accident. I'm about to smoke one. Sorry.
Yeah, not here. The building fucking thing will go off. I mean, listen, this is a great example of everyone who's listening. 28 years ago, 29 years ago, okay? Like, literally, she kissed me off into R&J and then screamed. Like, literally. I went to Mexico depressed because I was dumped. But I'm like, I'm going to be in this movie. I had no idea what the fuck what I was getting into. And I thought about you for, like, the first week. And then, like...
And then you thought about yourself.
Well, I thought about myself. And then...
Your performance.
I met a beautiful Mexican woman.
Stop it. Did you really? No. She didn't even speak English.
There's a whole other time I'll tell you about that, but I had a wonderful dinner with a wonderful Mexican woman, and we didn't speak any language, but we talked in like signage, and I was amazing.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
But it was...
How is your...
Am I doing it?
Yeah.
How's my doing it now?
Yeah.
It's fine. Why?
You no more premature.
Oh God. I mean, it happened right now. I'm coming right now.
You're now.
Yeah. Right now I'm prematuring. I was fucking 23. What do you want me to do?
I'm just wondering if you took a pill for that.
To not go so quick?
Yeah.
The key is just, well, what...
You remember my joke?
Yeah.
I was like, sex with you is like, oh, baby, oh, your body feels so good. I'm sorry. I came.
I did a lot of apologizing.
I was like, what do you mean you came? I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah. I did a lot of...
And then I used to do a song about you.
What was it?
You come too quick. You've got a crooked dick. It's like a banana. Chiquita.
Did you do that on stage?
Yes, and you'd go, ha 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 ha, like this maniacal laugh. And people would be like, oh, they're the Sid and Nancy of comedy. That's fucking hilarious.
Exactly. That's what we were.
We were. But Sid and Nancy is so negative. I think it's like Sid and Nancy, but without the drugs, without that self-harm.
Yes. I'm sure your husband will love you bringing up my
Stop
dick.
talking about my husband. He's not going to listen to this. He doesn't have time. He's fucking cooking.
Okay, Jesus. Shut that down. So I got in trouble for prematuring it.
I just remember we went to that therapist, Ruth, my therapist, Ruth, who
love
smoked
Ruth.
and had. Ruth was amazing.
I love
Ruth
Ruth.
Sherwood is an incredible therapist.
Yes.
She was like,
She's still
your
with us?
sister and your mother cannot ride on your coattails. They will not be invited to your taping.
Yes, I remember that.
And then with us, she said, Jamie, what's wrong with your dick? Have you checked it out, though? And I said, but I feel like it's a personal thing. Like, he only thinks of himself. Like, he doesn't want to pleasure me. And you were like, I'm sorry. I just get very excited.
I got in trouble for just prematuring.
Yeah.
But it's not prematuring. It's just called 23.
Is that a thing? Is that like a slang thing?
You don't get. I know. I didn't get any women, so I met you, and it was like. Do you remember Pussy Cookies?
Yeah, what is pussy? Tell me the joke.
You're Pussy Cookies.
I'm Pussy Cookies, but there's a reason. Because I
Okay, so
put flour on
what I did nothing wrong with Jenica. We made love. I'm very paranoid about my career, as you can tell. And so Jenica's a little bit of a more of a loose.
Or?
No, you were more of a free spirit. And so one night when we were together, we were getting excited, and you got on top of me. I'll never forget it. And you were like, you were just like, mm-hmm. And I was like, what? And you're like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, had to do my routine of like, get my Trojan, wipe down there and get that ready. And you're like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? You're like, mm-hmm. And you're like, don't move. And I was like, huh? And then, and I'm like, am I in you? And you're like, shut up. And then I'm like, am I in you? And like within like 3 seconds, I was like, and you go, wait a minute, did you just And I'm like, what? No, I didn't know I was in you. And you're like, what the fuck? You don't have a condom. And I was like, what? And you're like, oh my God. And so you run. This is Pussy Cookie. So you ran in there and you were freaked the fuck out. And I'm like, freaked the fuck out. I'm like, you can't get pregnant. I'm like, I can't get pregnant. And we got.
But you were like, I can't get pregnant because I'm about to be a star. And
Yes.
I was like, I can't get pregnant because I can't afford it.
Yes. And so we went in and we like looked for something and you were taking water and she was like, and you're like, and I'm like, you're making them swim, like you're giving them more of a river. And then I went into the fucking kitchen, I found something and I got a bag of flour and I went
That's
and I threw flour at your twat. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, you're not in the kitchen. You're going, you're not making pussy cookies. You said, you're not making pussy cookies. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to dry it up. This is real.
yeah.
This is real. And
I just remember the insanity of all of ourness.
all of it. And then I go, and you're like going, man, I'm so glad I moved on. Or I miss it. And then we freaked out for about a week until you bled.
Yeah.
And then it was fine. But it was like freaked out. So, yeah, it's a true story. So, do you mean the insanity of us? Do you know what's your sign again?
Cancer. You're Gemini.
Yeah. I mean, I'm highly underrated. Geminis are hated, but I think we're awesome. You think I'm the biggest?
Is that a fact?
You think I'm the
Is
biggest?
that based on data?
If you think I'm the biggest egomaniac ever, I just love what I love.
No, I don't think you're the biggest. I think you're the perfect dichotomy of complete narcissism and total presence. It's bizarre. It's so maddening.
Why does it
I
make you
can't.
mad?
I feel for your girlfriend. Because in 1 minute she's like, I can't be with this. I bet she's thinking, I cannot be with him forever. This is crazy. He only thinks about himself. I need to think about the future. My eggs are about to dry up. I need to have a baby. And the other side of you is like, yeah, no, I don't need the responsibility. I want to travel. I want to do. I have stuff to create. I have fucking buildings to buy. I have, businesses to start. And then you'll turn around and be like, but I love you. And what's here right now is real and pure and true. And why can't we have that right now? And then she's like, oh, his sparkly blue eyes and his sense of humor and his emotional intelligence is there. Okay, I'll stay.
And his premature dick.
And his premature pee-pee. It's okay, we have vibrators now. Am I right?
You broke it down.
I broke that shit down. I think that every time I think I should be your counselor.
Pull it to your mouth.
Marriage counselor.
Pull it to your mouth.
I think I should be your marriage counselor.
Well, I just never thought about, like, I think I stopped at about 15. I stopped aging in terms of my mind. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I'm an adult, but only with, like, life stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still 15. Like, I'll argue with
No,
somebody
like
on the
a
street.
15-year-old thinks about buildings and buying them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
like
makes
that.
sense.
And it's like,
taking
ooh,
over the
girls.
world and conquering
Yes.
mass hysteria.
And boobies.
And boobies.
And, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but, I mean, I'm not alone, but I'm not going to group that. But that's what this town attracts.
Yeah.
These, what's the name of that? It's like narcissistic little boys.
Peter Pan?
Yeah, Peter Pan. I've been called Peter Pan multiple times. In the best way. You can't be called Peter Pan now because everybody's all fucking weird. But that's what this town is. This is like where dreams come true. Let me ask you a question, because you're a female, but you can relate, but you still have that fucking DNA, that fucking annoying female DNA, but you can relate more than any of them. I put you against any woman that can relate to a man. I think you're the top. And what would you rather do? Would you rather be in a house in the West Side with 2 kids? Now you're a man.
I have 3.
I know, but I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
See, and would you like to have
I'm a narcissist.
Would you like to have a yard and then have like movie night and then like, oh, we gotta go to school and pick these children up, and then there's Betty. I saw her at the PTA, and responsibility. I gotta do a self-tape. Or would you rather own a house in the bird streets, have a pool, and get blowjobs?
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yes, but that's how men are. And if you say that, the people will be mad at me. But that's the truth. That's how every man wants to be. You agree with that?
Yes, with the exception of my husband.
No, your husband's different. He might be a real one in the sense of like he's much more, what's the word? He's giving. He's more selfless. He's more selfless. And
he's
is
completely selfless.
Completely selfless.
He only does what he does. Work. He's a talented chef. He only works for us.
And that's insane. I mean, that's beautiful for you guys, but Jesus Christ, he has to live his life for himself. And so what you're experiencing right now is 2 totally different worlds. You have a man that lives his life only for you and his offspring, who I already met one when she was 2 and then she was 19. And she's you in the spitting image. She's so smart and sweet and fucking an old soul. So he's already done an amazing job. And I'm sure your other 2 kids are the same cloth of cut.
Wonders like you.
Perfect. And then there's me, who is a complete man-child. Let's stay up all night. Let's fucking eat. Let's go. Let's fucking smoke a cigar. Well, you know what I mean? Let's just get up at 2 p.m. because you're up all night. Do you know what I mean? That's a beautiful life. Like, people say Leo's got to grow up. I hate dropping names. Why? He never will have to. The court of public opinion may change. Jack Nicholson's 85, guys.
He's living his best life.
I mean, I don't know his personal life, but you know what I mean? That's how I was raised. I was raised that that's the life. Do you know what I mean? Al Pacino just got divorced at 84. He had a kid with a 30-year-old. Now, that's a deeper question. We born alone, we die alone. Do you want people that love you? Yes. But that is the number one fight with someone like me, is that how much do I want to give of my, because I could sit in a room and I don't even need you here. I do now. I could do a 4-hour podcast just talking about my ideas and people fuck with it. Do you know what I mean? Or I could meet my friend. I have 3 reality shows we were like put together last night. I can't help it. Or I can go to 10 clubs.
What I'm hearing is that you love that.
I love it.
I love that you love
to be able to create. And there's so much in my life that I haven't even examined, and I've had a full life.
Yeah.
And I feel that I haven't even reached on it. Like, that's why I am the way I am, because I could just do so much in my mind.
That. I think that's awesome.
You know, I mean, I mean that in a bad way. Like, I just feel, and it's like when you have people in your life, like a significant other, and that's why I never thought of marriage or kids or anything, because your husband is doing it correctly. And that is the act of selflessness. But our society, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying into that whole thing. And it's definitely changed now more than ever. In terms of like,
yeah, I mean,
we're much more geared to my thinking now, and people don't even have the ideas, and they're still like, I'm the greatest ever. You know what I mean? But they can't even rap.
I think it's a little different for women, because I went.
Well, you have to have it because you have eggs.
Yeah, and I went through the.
But you're a bro. Like you're not a bro ho. You know what a bro ho is? It's a great term. Do you know what
I'm a bro ho?
No, you're not a bro ho, but you're a bro. You're not a bro because I don't know, I'm not attracted to girls like that. I'm attracted to you. So it's like you are the sensitivity of a woman, but the intensity of a man. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
like, you know, there's a lot. I just did this podcast with this guy, and he was like, women leaders or followers? And he's really funny, but he's really controversial. And I said, come on, bro. There's some women that are leaders. Like, you know, I know traditional roles and stuff, how it is, and I always think men should take care of the women and all that stuff. But you are like a chick in the forest. Like, I would do what I have to do, but I wouldn't think that you could get us out of some shit. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Would you say that you're rare in like when they pick up at the gender bullshit, you actually are, you're a straight woman, but you have male things in you. Really, you should be a poster child for that, because you really can be not a bullshit artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could pick up a fucking axe.
I don't know. This picture you're painting of me is so fucking rad. I like it. Yeah, I'm all those things. But I was thinking, I went through a phase where I resented the institution of marriage, having children, not feeling like there was more to life, and what I think the feminine side of me realized the gift of having my children. And the gift of having something that is real deep, personal, and selfless gave me more power as an artist. And then I directed my first film, and it was the best thing I think I've done. Everything has been shit since, but kidding. Once I directed, I went, oh, that's why I went through all this shit. This is how I'm supposed to tell a story. I'm a storyteller. I'm here to create, whether that's children, stories, movies, plays, podcasts, whatever. I'm here to create. I think you're under the idea that you will have to stop that creation merely because of the time you'd have to give to something else. And I don't care if you have a baby or not. It's probably better that you don't. But I understood just in the brief 2 seconds of you saying, I had a fight with my girlfriend, and I said, just have a baby. Like, just give her the baby. You don't even have to raise it. Just let her have what she wants. Something will shift in you, as it always does. You never hear somebody say, you do hear people say, I got married, I got divorced, it was terrible. But you never hear somebody say, I had kids and it was a bad thing. Our kids are the single most creative source of brilliance and some sort of legacy that I'm going to leave, that I know I'm going to leave, that I haven't achieved yet. You've achieved a lot of legacy. There's more for you to achieve. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
You just fell asleep. It was boring.
No, I'm taking it in. I'm loving it. I wanted to say something about it. You just made me think of something of like.
I literally saw, just for you guys out there, I literally saw his eyes gloss over. Like, that's the female talking. I like the bro. I'd rather the female not talk.
No, I love the female.
Oh, I do have to say a full circle moment. So I ended up doing Come See Me. I made this movie for $10,000. I shot it while pregnant. I gave birth on camera. I got a lot of press about it.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Why would you do that?
Oh, you didn't see my badge. It was a beautiful movie. Very funny. Got a lot of press
Water
for it.
birth?
But guess who ended up doing the movie and being my higher power in the movie? Like, I have this device where I press the OnStar, because honestly, the movie was a mess and we shot with 2 cameras and it was crazy and I didn't monitor all the things. I created this character OnStar that would be like my navigation system that would talk to me and would be like my higher self. And Molly Shannon ended up playing that part.
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
That's beautiful. Are you friends
Yes!
with her? Are you friends with her?
I am. I'm acquaintances with her. I mean, it was a huge mitzvah for her to do that, and we were, we harkened back to the moment we sat in that limo, and I've had crossed many paths watching many of the people that I came up with, like yourself, like Molly, that, they have had their moment, and it was amazing. She continues to have her moment because she's crazy talented and crazy genius. And it was amazing that she gave that to me.
That's
that film.
beautiful.
Yeah. It was like you never would expect that from the limo ride to then doing the movie.
It's incredible. I'm not surprised, though, because she is a real one.
She is. If we learned nothing today, we've learned that Molly Shannon is a real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She's amazing.
I had one other thought, and I forget it. I fucking forgot it. It was about life, narcissism, relationships. You said something about it. Oh, again, because you encouraged me to talk about myself. That's my answer.
It's me. I did it.
Because you were talking about relationships, so I have to bring this up. Do you think I'm a stop or a destination? And I'm going to give you one more. I always said I'm like Indiana Jones at Disneyland. It all goes back to Disneyland. You ride it once. Because you mentioned one of my girlfriends earlier, and she had amazing connections at Disneyland.
As do I.
Oh, so you go on once, and we would literally just go on Indiana Jones, and then she'd go, again, and then we'd go right back in, and she'd go, again, and we would. So the first time is thrilling. The second time, it's good, but the third time is bumpy.
Yeah.
I did Indiana Jones 4 times in a row. The 4th time, you want to throw up.
Right.
And did that. I wonder if I'm a human Indiana Jones ride for women.
Bro, only all 29 of your exes can answer that.
I'm starting with.
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
She's here. Look, man, you're right. Everything you're saying is right.
It's not right or wrong. It's been my path, and I can see it so clearly for you, but I also can see what you're saying. Like, I had that moment where I cried my entire first pregnancy. True is here to do something.
100%.
And
that baby is going to blow up.
Yeah, True Jackson
Yeah.
Follow at truejackson.com. I don't
She's a super musician. And that's, yes, that could be part of your, I think you have your own legacy, but that could be part of your legacy, that you were here to push
right.
that melon out into the world and make it, become a whole garden.
Yeah, and there's like all the, if you like really look back at the lineage or the genealogy of things, you want to be better than your parents. You did better than Bobby and Josie, right? In a lot of ways.
I'm like, I really respect my parents, but yeah, I did. They were the iPhone 4. I became the iPhone 8. I evolved.
And so I think I realized when True was born and Wonder and Holiday that.
Not a hippie at all. How's your Erewhon charcoal lemonade? With True and Wonder and Holiday. And this is literally a character that you would fucking play. And you're like, my name is Acorn. And you named your kids fucking Acorn. Pumpkin Spice. Wow.
Basil.
Yes. God bless you.
I realized that when you were describing, and then you wrote 3 reality shows, and then you did this and you do that, and you sleep late, and you even said for this podcast, can we do it later? Because I like to sleep late. And I'm like, oh, good to be you. Right? Because I have to wake up at 6:45. I don't want to. I have to hide smoking. I don't want to. Shit like that.
Eggs are being
I have to pay the rent. I have to get the fucking bills paid. I have to have insurance. All the things. And I had a moment where I remembered I cried my entire pregnancy, to the point where when I was giving birth, my doctor came in and I started crying, and she goes, "What now?" Right before giving birth, it was like, I just did not want to do this. I knew that my life was going to change and that I was going to have to give of myself and give up myself. And I think what I'm finding right now, before I turn 50.
Looking good.
Thanks, girl. You too.
Looking good.
Okay. So what I realized is that I have to grab some of that back. I'm grabbing some of that back because in the times in between, and then I'm also still raising small kids, so I do have to be selfless, and it's not a deal with the devil.
How old's your youngest?
7.
Jesus. Fucking pushhimonoutlate.com.
Yeah, 42.
That's like
Fertile Myrtle.
That's like my mom. She had me around that age. That might explain some of the mild retardation.
Never go full retard.
Is Wonder that child? Is the last
Holiday.
So who's like me, Wonder or Holiday?
Wonder.
So she's a middle.
Wonder is driven.
Oh, I love that.
And she's in her head, and it's about her, and she's amazing, and she's good at anything she does, and if she's not good, she's got to do it, and she's got to write it, she's got to direct it, she's got to be in it, she's got to make it, she's got to win it.
Let's get her on the wall. Start the wall.
Start the wall.
You know what I love? This is a woman right here that you will have 3 prodigies, and they will all be artistic. Like people have art families, they're not real artists, but you really do. You don't even encourage them. You let them be what they are in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And they will be driven to left side. But they're still right logical brain side. But they will be like your daughter, I could already tell in the New York scene, she's doing these underground shows, NYU, like knows who to connect it, but also has time to write an amazing melody. And I'm like, that's a lot. At 19 to be that fucking that put together. And I was like, a deal's coming. And yeah. I can see your other kids, the way you're describing, are going to be like actors, comedians, writers, whatever. So you did great.
Thanks, Jamie.
You have I have a wall, and you have a living version of a wall.
Look how that worked out.
It did. I could talk to you for hours. I love you. And you're so funny because you're
I love you.
Well, I love you back.
No, I love you.
I love you. And you're like, she texted me last night. I fucking love you. She goes, do you have like a couple of topics that you think we would cover?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
That's what you fucking said.
I'm going to read this shit.
This is what you fucking said.
Read it.
This is what you fucking...
Read it, asshole. Let me just say something.
Asshole.
Let me just say something. There was nothing... It was like, hello, is there any communication?
No, you go
That's
like this.
That's what I was getting at. We're back at 19.
You go, great.
I'm back at 19.
How long is the pod? I go, it could be an hour or two. Depends on the vibes. And you go, do you have any specific topic you'd like to discuss? And I go, Jenica, just talk. Do you want to talk about postmodern feminism in cinema and how it affected gluten-free Polish immigrants in 1889? And then I wrote, laugh. And then she goes, and then I go, or if you want to just wait on the pod, we can just have a coffee, no pressure. And then you wrote, I was thinking more along the lines of the effects of Gaza and screen time simultaneously causing premenopause. And I wrote, I mean, I don't know if I keep that in, but that's fucking brilliant. And you go, no, let's pod, bitch.
And then I wrote,
Kiss. And I wrote, and then she was 45 minutes late. But this was incredible. I knew it would be.
I love you.
I love you. And I think we're going to be in each other's life forever.
Yeah.
We just have the connection. And there's no disrespect to my girl, your husband, to anything. It's just you have connections with people, and that's okay. And I think that you people.
Is that your PSA?
Well, it's just also because
it's okay.
Because I
love my husband. My husband's amazing.
He's amazing.
I married my husband.
Yeah.
I still love you.
All right, take it down. All right. Okay, bring it up. I know I might not see you for 12 years, and then like in 2009 I might be Jen, and then I'll see you in 2023, and I go Ika. Like, where the fuck are you? Like, we'll pick literally no one in this world I could pick up with like that.
Yeah. And
that's I'm lucky. Because I could, even if I don't see you for 5 years, I could call you and go, listen, I have a prolapse anus and I have heroin. You're like, go to Coffee Bean. Meet me there right now. And I forget that. And so thank you for being a rock.
And thank you for acknowledging me.
Of course.
And my support of you.
Wow.
Don't leave me like that.
You're very welcome. And thank you. Guys, like, subscribe, follow Jenica on her socials. Do you want to say your socials?
Jenica Bergere.
Boom. She's amazing. She's hilarious. That's a whole other story I was going to tell about Drew Carey's story because I remember he used to do that show all the time.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Thank you.